Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Holly if you're new, and today I'm making my case for why 3 runs a week is the best number. I have a lot of good reasons. I'm sure I'm gonna get a lot of pushback here, but I think it's a good conversation to have. Let's jump right in. Now, if you're watching this video from America, which most of you guys are, you know that in this country, it's a point of pride to be busy. The busier you are, the more you're grinding, hustling, managing multiple things on your schedule, the better. You're going to have more because you're putting in the most time right now. Very little work-life balance, that's not news to anybody. In fact, if you're doing less than 100% all the time, you're actually kind of thought to be lazy, or you'll never have anything of value because you're not working hard enough. I bring all this up to tell you guys that a lot of us use this exact mentality as an excuse for why we don't work out regularly. And what I want to do in this video for you is get you into a mindset that you don't need to go in and out of workout mode. In the diet culture, 20, 30 years ago, we were sold the fact that we had to do very specific things each day of the week in order to be fit, in order to have a certain lifestyle, physique, whatever. It wasn't really taught that we could do this in a more medium, fit into your life kind of way. And I'm trying to bring us all back to that, especially as it pertains to running. I want you guys to know that we are able to get results, hold on to those results for the rest of our lives if we do it properly in a way that feels good on our body and sustainable to our schedule. And just for quick context, if you guys are new to the channel, over the last decade, I've run countless races. Like, I don't even have a number on how many races, but from half marathon up to 100 miles, I have done a lot, and I have felt good or better than that the whole time. I can confidently say that. I think it's because I haven't had to go full in and full out over and over again with my body, how I look, and also how I feel in my running. So what I want to give you guys today is the groundwork, the foundation. How can you build out a plan that feels like you could do it for the rest of your life? Sustainability is what we're going for today. I'm especially talking to you new runners because I know it all feels daunting when you do have friends that are running 7 days a week. We're gonna get to those too. I am not shitting on those people at all. I think we should all do what makes us feel the best. But the more volume you do in any physical activity, the more important it is to do it well, take care of your body the whole time. And we'll get into the details. That does take time as well. Let's jump into point number 1. Point number 1 is confidence comes from follow through in anything you do. If you say you're gonna do something and you do that thing day after day, you believe yourself, you trust yourself more. The same goes for running. We've got a 7-day week. Say I tell you to go run each of the 7 days and you only do 4. You automatically think that you failed because you did not do what you said you were gonna do or what I told you to do. Second week of that, you've done it again. You feel like you failed at this point. You're kind of thinking, what is the point of continuing because I did not live up 2 weeks in a row. I am not cut out for this. Other way to look at this is I've done 8 runs in 14 days, and that's extremely impressive. That's actually a really great percentage of time that you spent running, especially if you've never run before. Now say from the beginning, I told you to do the 4 runs in the 7 days, and you did them, and then you did it in the second week too. So you're 100% on that follow through. Going into week 3, you're feeling awesome because you are fully doing what you said you were gonna do. Better yet, say I told you to only do 3 runs, but because you were feeling good, inspired, and productive already, you added a 4th. You could see yourself fitting in a 4th because you've already fit in 3. Now you're over-impressing yourself. You're really surprising yourself. Wow, I'm following through and I even have time. I've made time to do more. This is what I'm talking about. This confidence that builds on this makes you love the sport. You're never gonna wanna keep doing something that you feel like you're failing at or are never gonna be good at. And this is my example here. When we create a schedule that gives you that room to have some choice, but also really depend on your follow through, you're golden. And this really, really pertains to running because it's so difficult at the beginning. So set yourself up for success. Hey guys, I'm in my sister's office going through the clips for this video and I realized I left something out. For my new runners, 3 runs a week is also great because you lay the foundation for your running much faster and more consistently. So we know how much the beginning sucks in running. This will get rid of that really quickly because you're not running 7 days a week. If you are, you will likely burn out, stop, start again, and you're always going through the beginning period, which sucks. So that's good for that. And you have other days now in the week to let the body recover and come back to normal. Even if you're doing other activities, you are not running, and that lets your body adjust quicker. Point number 2, if we're doing 3 runs a week, that means we have 4 extra days to play with. If we're making time on those 3 days for those 3 runs, I know we can make time for our strength training and our cross training. This stuff really makes running feel better. It makes you feel more like an athlete. You have a lower heart rate when you go run because you're putting in that extra work and you're protecting against injury. all of the stuff that comes with the beginning of running, those aches and pains, shin splints, Achilles tendonitis, knees hurt, all that stuff can be quickly avoided by getting in some cross training, strength training, whatever you have time for. I recommend 1 to 2 sessions a week. Really should be on the calendar as much as those runs, and I really think it adds just as much value. I also find that getting in the gym, doing things like plyometrics, getting up on the box, getting under load for back squat, deadlift, even just basic upper body movements, teaches our body what it needs to do when we're out there running miles and miles, because eventually you will be. If you are a newer runner and you're not seeing that now, eventually you're gonna be in a body that runs double digits. This type of training in the gym separates you out from your running, gets you in a different headspace to work on things that really enhance your performance. You're gonna feel stronger. You're gonna feel like you have more to give, especially in terms of speed, how you do on hills, all that stuff gets easier. When you're in the gym as well, you just kind of naturally do a bit more stretching and mobility work. You spend time taking care of the body that you might not when you're just hopping out for a quick run. I find that getting those sessions in, like I said, just the 1 to 2 times a week makes all the difference early on. And one bonus point here too, if you guys are always running solo, not with anyone, I find that the gym gives you that community aspect, getting to see people, talk about your fitness, and if you're so isolated only running alone, I find this actually just kind of gives more value to what you're doing. You can kind of bounce ideas off people and get more excited about your training plan. Point number 3 is that getting out there 3 times a week really makes you appreciate each run more. You're not taking anything for granted. You really like that you get to be out there for that run time. In fact, it also encourages you to have a target focus for each run that you do. And that target focus could be, I'm gonna go chill out for an hour, listen to my podcast, not think about anything, not worry about my pace or my stats. It's just gonna be for me. Another run could be for hill work, and that is because we want to push ourselves in an interval style, make ourselves work harder up a hill so that the next flat run we do, we're going to feel so good in our body. Heart rate's going to be easier, breathing's going to be easier, we're going to maybe move faster because we're not on the hill anymore. Tempo work, go do a tempo run to get yourself really comfortable in a pace you want to hold on your next race. If you want a PR, if you want to hit a certain time on the 5K, use the tempo run to get there. How am I going to work at a higher speed and make my body appreciate that, understand that, be able to hold that? How am I going to go do my long run this week? Put all the pieces into place for a really good routine so that I really know how I need to operate on race day. Going to do my first marathon, I want to know exactly what I need to eat, where, everything, because you practice on your long run day. That's what I love so much about the 3 runs a week. Everything really feels meaningful, special. It doesn't all get lost. It feels like it all benefits me really directly. My 4th and final point today, guys, is that with this schedule I've suggested today, 3 runs, 1 to 2 strength sessions, everything else remains open so you can add to it at your will. Back in my beginning example, I tell you to do 3 runs, you do 4. I love that. I want you guys to add to this, and I want you to feel like you have the flexibility to do so. I find that with some of these really stacked training plans, every minute is accounted for. You feel irresponsible if you sub something in, or if you skip a day, or whatever. And I feel like if we start from this baseline, anything you add feels like a win to you. It really improves your confidence in your headspace. And that, like I said, goes so far in making you love this sport for a lifetime. I've made it very clear that this is the way I train and this is the way I like to train, but what I want to share with you guys right here is some indicators for how you know a training plan is working for you or not. If we don't know this, we kind of get blindsided sometimes, and then we burn out, and then we go back to what I said in the beginning of the video, we're out of shape again, and now we would have to start over altogether to get back into a running space at all. I never want that to happen for you guys. I want you to be in control. So here's some stuff to look at along the year to know if it's too much or too little. Number 1, when you show up to a race, how do you feel? Are you excited to see what you can do that day? Test yourself. Everything you've done in the training plan, put it to the test that day. You feel like you want to try. Or are you completely beat up, disheveled, and just waiting for it to be over? Maybe you have some nagging injuries, you're not in a great headspace, you're nervous, like extra nervous. That tells me sometimes that I overdid it in the training block, and I would know that I don't want to go into another race feeling that way. After the race, how do you feel and how long are you recovering for? It's really good to leave it all out there on a race, don't get me wrong. That is absolutely the point. But if I'm taking 4 to 6 weeks to even feel like myself again, I sometimes get in the headspace of like, wow, I've robbed myself of a month plus of my year just because I'm coming down from this race. Now, depending on your goals, if that was worth it, say you qualified for Boston in that race, that was worth it. But for a lot of us, we're just racing for fun. Sometimes I would think if 4 to 6 weeks before I even feel like myself again, that tells me it was too much. I should find a more smooth way to train, a more smooth way to run that race, and feel like I can get back to it, a week or two later. And the third thing I want you guys to look at is, how do you feel in the thick of your training plan, right? Obviously, I've said I want you to be able to train this way the whole year. I don't want you to have to go in and out of training periods, but when you're 3 months into really staying dedicated, are you still excited at all about this? Or does it just feel like a workout plan you're having to stick to? If it's the latter, that tells me we might be close to burnout. We might be close to excuses that eventually lead to, again, falling completely out of this thing. Just look for these kind of moments. Look at these moments throughout the year and understand, where am I at mentally and physically? Do I still find joy in this? If I don't, what can I do to change that? Guys, my goal for today was to just give you a little boost of confidence, show you that with 3 runs a week, you're gonna get those health benefits for your brain and body for the rest of your life. You're gonna build confidence with all the follow through in doing what you said you were gonna do week after week, which spreads into the rest of your life as well. Hopefully you'll build a lifelong love of running, and ultimately you will still have space to add in things on a whim, have that flexibility as you need. You won't feel irresponsible for missing a run in order to do something else. You're gonna have that space now because we've got 7 whole days every single week, and I think it's just great the way we can choose to manage our time. Hopefully this helped you guys. If there's anything that didn't make sense or we want to debate in the comments, let's go. Hopefully you guys liked this video enough though. Can give me a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.